My 17-year-old daughter wants an abortion. I don't know what to do. I never thought I'd be asking strangers on the internet for parenting advice. I'm 48. I've always been the kind of guy who thinks family problems stay inside the family. You don't air them out online, you deal with them yourself. But I honestly don't know how to handle this one. My daughter is 17. Last Tuesday, she sat down across from me at our kitchen table and told me she's pregnant. I don't even remember what I said first. I think it was just, "Are you okay?" Not because I wasn't shocked. I was. But she looked terrified, and somehow that seemed more important than my own reaction. She nodded, then immediately started crying. Not loudly, just quietly, like she'd already cried so much there wasn't much left. I walked around the table and hugged her. She didn't let go for a long time. She finally looked up and said, "Dad, please don't hate me." That sentence has been stuck in my head ever since. I don't think there's anything either of my kids could do that would make me hate them. Disappoint me? Sure. Scare me? Absolutely. But hate them? Never. I told her exactly that. She nodded again. Then she said something that completely caught me off guard. "I don't want Mom to know yet." That surprised me. Not because my wife is a bad mother. She's actually incredible. But our daughter has always come to me first when something was bothering her. When she got suspended in 8th grade. When she failed her driving test. When she had her first breakup. Somehow, I've always been the first phone call. I asked who the father was. She told me. His name is Tyler. He's 18. I've met him a few times. Quiet kid. Always polite. Football player. Honestly, not the type of boy I would have worried about. I asked if he knew. She said yes. I asked what he wanted to do. She looked down at the table. He said he'll support whatever I decide. I didn't know whether to be relieved or frustrated by that answer. It sounded mature, but it also felt like he had quietly placed the decision entirely on her shoulders. Then she finally said it. "I already know what I want to do." I asked what she meant. She took a deep breath. "I'm getting an abortion." Just like that. No hesitation. Like she'd repeated those words to herself 100 times before saying them out loud. I didn't answer immediately. Not because I wanted to argue. Honestly, I think my brain just stopped working for a second. She must have noticed my face because she quickly added, "Dad, please don't try to change my mind. I can't have a baby. I'm still in school. I don't even know what college I'm going to. I can't do this." I listened. Really listened. Everything she said made sense. That's almost what made it harder. She wasn't acting impulsively. She'd thought about it. A lot. I asked one question. "Are you scared?" She laughed. It wasn't really a laugh. More like the sound people make when they're completely overwhelmed. "I'm terrified." Then she looked at me and asked, "Will you still love me if I do it?" I don't think I've ever had a harder question put in front of me. Because the answer was easy. Yes. Of course I would. But saying yes felt like I was also telling her I agreed with the decision. And I honestly don't know if I do. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Because that's exactly where I'm stuck. I finally answered, "I'll always love you." She nodded. Then she asked another question. "Will you drive me?" I looked at her. "What?" "The clinic. I don't want to go alone." I honestly don't remember how long I sat there before saying anything. It felt like forever. Maybe it was 30 seconds. Maybe 2 minutes. I finally said, I can't answer that today." She looked disappointed. Not angry. Just disappointed. I figured. She went upstairs after that. My wife came home about an hour later. I almost told her. I even started. "Hey, can we talk tonight?" She smiled. Sure. Then she started telling me about her day. A patient who'd finally been discharged. Someone retiring after 30 years. Normal things. And I just couldn't do it. Because it wasn't my news to tell. Since then, I've barely slept. Part of me thinks I should convince my daughter to slow down. Just breathe. Give herself another week before making such a huge decision. Another part of me is scared that if I push too hard, she'll stop talking to me completely. Parents who have been through something like this, what would you do? Seriously. I'm not asking what your opinion on abortion is. I'm asking, how do you talk to your child when you know one conversation could change your relationship forever? Because right now, I honestly feel like every word I choose matters. And I'm terrified of choosing the wrong ones. I made it through work the next day. I honestly don't know how. I don't remember a single meeting. I answered emails. I took phone calls. At one point, a coworker asked if I wanted to grab lunch. I told him I wasn't hungry. The truth was, I hadn't been hungry since Tuesday. Around 3 in the afternoon, my phone buzzed. It was my daughter. Can we talk after Mom goes to bed? I stared at the message for a minute before replying. Of course. That evening felt strange. My wife had no idea what was sitting between us at the dinner table. She was talking about our son's baseball tournament that weekend. She asked our daughter if she'd finished her English paper. Normal family conversation. The kind I'd always taken for granted. Our daughter answered every question. She smiled when she needed to. If I hadn't known, I never would have guessed she was carrying something this heavy. Every now and then she'd glance at me. Just for a second. Almost like she was checking whether I'd changed my mind. Around 10, my wife went upstairs. As soon as we heard our bedroom door close, my daughter looked at me. Can we go outside? We sat on the back porch. It was one of those quiet summer nights where you can hear people mowing their lawns 3 streets away. For a couple of minutes, neither of us said anything. She was the first to speak. I know you're disappointed. I shook my head. I'm worried. There's a difference. She looked down at her hands. I don't want you to think I'm a bad person. That hurt more than I expected. I don't. Then why couldn't you answer me yesterday? I knew exactly what she meant. The clinic. Driving her. I took a deep breath. Because I don't know if I can. She nodded slowly. I figured. I keep thinking. She stopped. Started again. I keep thinking maybe if this had happened to someone else, I'd know what to do. She gave a little laugh. But it's me. And I have no idea. That was probably the most honest thing she'd said since this started. Not, I know exactly what I want. Not, I've already decided. Just, I have no idea. I asked her something I'd been wondering. When did you find out? Almost 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks. She'd been carrying this alone for 3 weeks. Who was with you? My friend, Emma. Not Tyler? She shook her head. He was working. I didn't know why that bothered me. Maybe because I wanted to believe he was standing beside her through all of this. Maybe because she's still my little girl. I don't know. I finally asked the question I'd been avoiding. Has Tyler talked to his parents? No. Why? He doesn't want them to know. What about you? She looked toward the yard. I don't want Mom to know. I know. But why? She didn't answer immediately. Then she quietly said, because I know how she'll look at me. I frowned. Your mom loves you. I know. But she'll be disappointed. I almost said, so am I. But I caught myself. Because disappointed wasn't the right word. Scared was. Heartbroken maybe. Confused. All of those. But not disappointed. You know what the worst part is? She asked. What? I don't even know if I want the abortion. That caught me completely off guard. I looked at her. I thought you said you'd decided. I did. But deciding and being sure, they're not the same thing. She started crying again. I keep changing my mind. I wake up thinking I can't do this. Then I think about college. My friends. Everything. And I think maybe I have to. She covered her face. I hate that there isn't a right answer. Neither did I. Parents. If you've ever had an adult conversation with your child where you realized they're still a kid, you'll probably understand what I mean. She looked 17. She sounded 17. But she was trying so hard to make decisions that would scare most adults. If you've been through something similar, I'd genuinely like to know what you did. I keep feeling like there's a version of this conversation I should be having, and I haven't found it yet. I reached over and held her hand. I need you to promise me one thing. What? Don't make this decision because you're afraid of disappointing me. She looked surprised. I'm serious. If you choose one path because of me, you'll resent me. If you choose the other because you're afraid of me, you'll resent me for that too. She wiped her eyes. So what am I supposed to do? I don't know. I laughed a little. I wish I did. Then she asked me something I wasn't prepared for. If you were 17, and Mom was pregnant with me, would you have wanted me? I didn't answer immediately. Not because I had to think about it. Because I knew my answer wasn't really answering her question. I would have been terrified. She smiled through tears. So am I. Before we went back inside, she looked at me and quietly said, I made an appointment. I felt my stomach tighten. When? Friday. That's 2 days from now. She nodded. Then she added something I haven't been able to stop thinking about. I haven't told anyone else. I frowned. What about Tyler? He doesn't know about the appointment. Why not? She looked away. Because I'm not even sure I want to keep it. Friday came a lot faster than I wanted it to. I woke up before my alarm. Made coffee? Didn't drink it. I just stood in the kitchen, holding the mug until it went cold. I kept thinking, by noon today, everything could be different. And I still didn't know what I was supposed to do. My daughter came downstairs around 8. She looked exhausted. I don't think she'd slept much either. She sat across from me. Neither of us touched breakfast. Finally, she said, I need to tell Mom. I looked up. Are you sure? She nodded. I can't keep lying to her. I don't know why, but hearing that made me feel relieved. Not because I wanted another person carrying this. Because I was tired of carrying it alone. My wife was folding laundry in the living room when we walked in. She looked at both of us and immediately knew something was wrong. Okay. What happened? Nobody answered. She put the towel down. You're scaring me. My daughter started crying before she even spoke. I'm pregnant. That's all she managed to say. Then she completely fell apart. I've been married for 23 years. I've seen my wife angry. I've seen her heartbroken. I've seen her lose both of her parents. I've never seen the expression she had in that moment. It wasn't anger. It wasn't disappointment. It was shock. Pure shock. She walked over to our daughter, held her face in both hands, and asked the first question. Are you okay? Exactly the same thing I'd asked 3 days earlier. My daughter nodded, then shook her head, then nodded again. My wife hugged her. They both cried. For a long time, nobody yelled. Nobody blamed anyone. Nobody asked who the father was. Nobody talked about consequences. For almost 20 minutes. The only thing that mattered was that our daughter wasn't sitting alone anymore. Eventually, my daughter whispered, I made an appointment. My wife looked at her. For today? She nodded. I don't know if I can do it. Then she looked at both of us. I also don't know if I can have a baby. There it was. The sentence she'd been trying to say all week. Not, I want an abortion. Not, I want to keep the baby. Just, I don't know. My wife took a deep breath, then said something I'll never forget. You don't have to decide today. My daughter looked confused. The appointment. You can cancel it. You can reschedule it. You can still go. But don't do any of those things because you feel rushed. She wiped our daughter's tears away. This decision is too big to make because you're afraid of disappointing someone. I looked at my wife, then at my daughter, and I realized something. All week, I'd been asking myself the wrong question. I'd been asking, how do I stop her? What I should have been asking was, how do I make sure she doesn't face this alone? Those are completely different questions. We called the clinic. My daughter asked if she could postpone the appointment by a week. They said yes. No pressure. No argument. Just call us when you're ready. Then my wife asked, have you talked to Tyler since you made the appointment? She shook her head. No. Do you want him here? Another long pause. Finally. Yeah. He came over that afternoon. I won't pretend it wasn't awkward. I wanted to be angry. Part of me still was. But when he walked through the front door, he looked exactly like my daughter had looked 3 days earlier. Scared. He sat down across from us and said, "I've been waiting for her to tell me what she wanted because I didn't want to pressure her." Then he looked at my daughter. "I should have asked what you needed instead." That was probably the most mature thing anyone said all week. The four of us talked for almost 4 hours. Not about politics, not about religion, not about what strangers think. About real life. School, money, fear, adoption, parenting, college, mental health, support. Things people actually have to think about when they're living this, instead of arguing about it online. Nobody tried to win. Nobody tried to shame anyone. We just talked. It's been 6 months now. I know some of you are probably wondering what happened. The truth is, my daughter chose to continue the pregnancy. That was her decision. Not mine. Not my wife's. Not Tyler's. And if she'd chosen differently after taking the time she needed, I would have still loved her exactly the same. Because that's what I finally understood. My job wasn't to make the decision for her. My job was to make sure she never had to make it believing she'd lose her family either way. Our grandson was born 3 weeks ago. He's sleeping in the next room as I write this. Sometimes I watch my daughter hold him, and I remember the terrified 17-year-old sitting across from me at the kitchen table asking, "Will you still love me if I do it?" I wish I could go back and answer more clearly. Not because I know all the right answers now. I don't. I probably never will. But I know this much. Children don't stop needing their parents the day they make an adult mistake. Sometimes, that's the day they need them the most. And if you've read this far, I'd still like to ask you something. What would you have done if you were sitting where I was? Because even now, I'm not completely sure I handled it the right way. I just did the best I could with the daughter I love more than anything.